Hello everybody, Mark here. Today I'm going to be making something slightly different than I'd normally make. Now, I've been asked several times by a subscriber to make a specific dinner. Now, I finally got hold of the ingredients. This is something that what I wouldn't normally do. What it is, I tell you what it is, it's a pasta dish. Now, I'm using Penne, P-E-N-E-E. There you go, I don't know, it's a Co-op's own brand. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it's 500 grams. So it'll be dirt cheap. Now, the ingredient that I'm going to be using is the Campbell's meatballs in tomato sauce. You can get this in gravy as well, but this one is the tomato sauce. I'm going to be using this as the meat to go with the pasta. And like I say, normally I wouldn't do this. I would use proper mince, throw in several different vegetables perhaps, you know, but because I've been asked, I'm going to be using this. Now, I figure I'm going to use 2 cans because I'm extra hungry today. And yeah, that pasta I showed you, what it is, now there's a tip for you. Now this cup holds 200 grams of pasta. The actual cup weighs 400, but it holds 200, and I always use this cup to measure my pasta. In the old days, before I knew any better, I used to just pour it into the pan of boiling water and try and guess, you know. Whereas if you use the same cup or the same measuring device every time, you know exactly what you're eating. Okay, so that's the ingredients. Let's show you the boiling water. Oh, and just a quick message to the subscribers or anybody who's watching this purely by chance. If you can bear it, please let the adverts play through. They help this channel and every other channel out there on the YouTube land. If you skip them, it doesn't really help the YouTuber. But if you can bear it, maybe just let a couple of them play. That would be brilliant. Thank you. Alright, that's that out of the way. Now the water's coming to the boil, and I'm going to be... I'll empty the meatballs into the pan in readiness. There you go. It's been a long time since I've had this. Now there's quite a lot of gravy in there. Now you got a big lump of meat because it's all settled down to the bottom. There you go. I'll show you that in a sec. Okay. Anyway, so that's what you've got. You've got about maybe a dozen meatballs in there, you know. So there's quite a lot of meat. Now this pasta, the water for the pasta, is coming to the boil. So I'm gonna pour it in. In fact, and then I'm going to reduce it down to about 9. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of this water because I don't want it to boil over. It's hard to judge the amount of water because when you put in the pasta, you know, water displacement and the water level rises. But okay, so that's in the boiling water. The temperature immediately drops. But then it'll start to increase again. I've put it on 9 because now I just want... Actually, I want to bring it back to the boil. That's what I want to do. I'm going to bring it back to the boil. As soon as that happens, then turn it down and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. As you would with most pasta shapes. It's different with a long, stringy, shoelace-looking pasta. But with the shapes, this is... let's see, what is this? This is tubes. This is thin tubes, you've got thick tubes, you've got shells, you've got all kinds of shapes. They all take about sort of 10 to 15 minutes. Now, as you can see, it's boiling. We don't want it to boil over, so we put it down to about 8. Just to let it simmer away. Alright, we'll do that and I'll sort out the rest of this meat. There you go. Now, alright, all the meat's in the pan here, ready. There's quite a lot of meat here. But feeling extra hungry. Normally, I might go for one pan. It's all, it's all good. Now, stir the pasta every few minutes, just so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Now, I'm going to turn the meat on 7 out of 12, just to get it warm through, because once it's warm through, it'll be easier to blast with some heat to coincide with when the pasta is finished. Because what I don't want to do is wait till the pasta's 2 minutes till it's finished, 2 minutes to go, and then quickly heat up the meat here. It's going to be a bit awkward. So I'm just going to heat it through. Once it starts bubbling, just let it, turn it down a little bit, just so it's, in fact, I'm going to turn it up to 8, just to get a bit of heat in that meat there. Okay, the pasta's gently bubbling away. We'll come back in, I'm going to check this in about 5 minutes. Alright, I've turned the heat up on the meat to 10, because it's not bubbling as fast as I would like. And I'm going to take the opportunity, while I've got a few minutes in between stirring the pasta, is just to use the spoon to cut the meatballs in half. Because, like if you're a regular viewer, I like to, I don't like to eat a lot of foods that can't be eaten with, a spoon in one hand. If necessary, I'll use a knife and fork. But if I can hold the plate with one hand and eat with a spoon in the other, that's all good. So I'm going to make these bite-size. That's what I'm cutting these up for. So that it just makes it more convenient to... there you go. Just go around cutting these in half, giving them a mix while you're at it. Giving it a stir while it's heating through. Plus, I mean, when you cut them in half, it's going to be quicker to hopefully, heat them through. Well, which it doesn't take a lot to do anyway. I mean, they're sort of pre-cooked mush, turned into meatball shapes. Okay, yeah, just go and cut them in half. That's all good. Okay, and then give the pasta another mix. Let's see. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the opportunity to test the pasta. I'm going to try and separate one bit of pasta here, press it against the side of the pan with a spoon, and try and cut it in half. Yeah, and it's actually fairly easy, so it's not going to take too long. The harder it is, the more pressure you've got to put onto the pasta to cut it. So it's not going to take too long. Okay then, I think the pasta is about done, so I'm going to do the checks, which is try and cut a piece in half, which is very easy to do. I've just cut that in half there. Now I'm going to go for the taste test. If it's soft when you chew it, then it's pretty much done. If there's any resistance when you chew it, that means it's not done and you need to put it in for a few more minutes. But I think I'm going to try another piece. If I can get one. Jesus. Right. Right, I'm going to take a whole piece. I can't get one to cut it in half. Alright, here we go. We're going to try a whole piece. I'm going to give it another test. Oh, hot. That's about right, I think. Just the right amount of softness in the pasta. Alright, I'm going to give the meat another mix. The meat has come to the boil. I've been cutting it up into little pieces, into halves, and then whichever bits I can get hold of, cut it into quarters. Because I want the meat chunks to be quite small, so they'll spread out. I'll get... at least some in every spoon. Okay, now I'm going to sift out the water. Okay, I've got the colander. There we go. I'm going to take this over to the sink and drain the water out. Okay, that's done. Pasta in the bowl. Turn everything off. Oh, this meat is like really bubbling now. Okay. So now the next thing to do is just pour the meat and the sauce. I don't know if you can, I'll try and turn this so you can see it. There you go, all over there. then we just give it a mix. There we go. So all the pasta gets covered with a sauce. Yeah, this is going to be a lot different. This is a lot easier than cooking with proper mince like I would normally. But if you're looking for something really quick, you know, tasty, I mean, aside from the meat, it's all like, you know, mechanically separated meat and all that kind of stuff, but it's chock full of carbohydrates in the pasta. The meat actually tastes good, and it's got a good sauce that makes the pasta very nice. Well, if you look at my pasta dishes, it's really not that much work to actually fry up some mince, add a jar of sauce to it, and then add it to the pasta. It's just, this is even quicker and easier. It is good. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've actually had this before, this meat, long before I started the channel. But I haven't had this in years. Oh, and by the way, the cans of meat are £1 in Poundland. The pasta I got from the co-op. It's their own brand, but you can get like I don't know, a kilo. I think you can get a kilo. That's half a kilo. You can get kilo bags for about £1 or so, or half kilo or a kilo for £1. You know, it's like dirt cheap. And if you're buying it, say, actually, I think you can get a kilo for £1. And if you're using 200 grams, like I did here, that means you get 5 dinners out of a kilo bag of pasta. So if you can get it for £1, then that's 20p of pasta a dinner, and a can of meat. So that was one, you know, so if I was using 1 can, I'd be £1.20. I'm using 2 cans, because I'm a greedy, you know, I'm a bit hungry today. So £2.20. £2.20 for a big pan of pasta. There you go, very nice. Alright. That's that. I'm going to go eat this. And there you go, quick and easy, even easier than the normal pasta dinners that I make. Thank you very much, and I'll try and put a couple of videos up here. There's the links, click on there if you fancy seeing anything else, and thank you for watching.